Welcome to Origin, Remember Your Truth, a podcast for everyone who senses there's more than meets the eye. I'm your host, Anna Hochwald, and I'm really excited that you're here. Together, we explore what lies beneath conditioning, roles, and learned identities through energy, intuition, and lived experience. This is your invitation to remember your inner truth and to feel what's true for you. Take what resonates and throw out the rest. On today's episode, we'll be talking about what happens when life gets messy. So usually for my episodes, I don't really plan them apart from the interviews and just start talking. And the title, finding the title afterwards throughout what I was talking about in the episode isn't always easy for me because as I just let it flow through, I oftentimes forget what I was even talking about, and then finding the title, not that easy. This time, though, I'm doing it the other way around, because there's a lot going on in my life at the moment, and somehow the title just came to me. When the shit hits the fan, you get a shitstorm. And this might not be your sense of humor, but when it came to me, I thought it was hilarious, and honestly, I still think it's hilarious. Well, if you have somewhat of a visual brain, listen to the title again and then let your brain do the work. The imagery, it cracks me up. I can't say it any other way. Also, it's weirdly accurate if you think about it. Because sometimes when a lot is happening in your life, it doesn't fall apart gracefully, to put it that way. And sometimes it seems like everything is happening at once. And now I want to say you can't see shit. Working with my metaphor before, actually you could, or you couldn't. I think I've gotten too deep into this one. My point is, in my personal, professional, all areas of life, a lot of things are going on and happening right now. And somehow when I look around and talk to friends, I get the feeling that it's the same for a lot of people. That, a lot of things are happening at the same time. Another picture I like to use is like life is like a ketchup bottle. You know, those ketchup bottles made out of glass with this larger lid. And first, if you turn it around, nothing comes out, and then just everything comes out. And it's a big red mess. And that's sometimes what life can feel like. Maybe you can recognize yourself there. And in all of this, the overwhelm is often not the problem. I think one of the hardest parts, it's not even the amount of things happening, it's the story we create about it. Because the moment life gets loud, we immediately think, I'm behind, I'm failing, I should handle this better. Why can't I get my shit together? I'm sorry, I'm really enjoying this image. And it's this inner pressure we build up ourselves. Because even if there is pressure from the outside, it's how we reacted that creates the pressure. Because we can stay calm in the midst of a storm, even a shitstorm. I'm really trying to hold it together here. Oh God, I'm so sorry. Holding it together in the midst of a shitstorm. Sometimes my brain, it creates images, and these are not images that are coming through that I'm getting from the universe guides or whatever, or intuitively from other people. That's just my weird brain. Keeping me happy and maybe distracting myself from life at the moment, because it does feel a bit overwhelming. And a warm recommendation for you, especially in these situations, keep your sense of humor. And no matter what your sense of humor is, it doesn't have to be similar to mine. But for me, it just releases a lot of tension. It's also a moment where I feel and notice that I've been holding the tension, because then when I start laughing about these ridiculous things, I really feel, oh wow, okay, I was very tense. Yeah, you can make your life harder, you can make it easier. Because in these situations where a lot is happening, maybe you're going through a breakup or there's tension in your relationship. Work isn't easy, maybe you're trying to become self-employed, whatever it is. a lot of obligations, or you feel like there are obligations that you have to fulfill, also towards friends. And then at some point it feels like an obligation and no longer something you're looking forward to, just want to gift to yourself. Yeah, it's often not even the actual situation, but it's what we connect with it, how we interpret it, and our role in that, or we judge ourselves because things might not be working the way you had planned, and then you're carrying shame, pressure, guilt. You're comparing yourself, and that makes it 10 times heavier. But overwhelm, it doesn't mean weakness. Sometimes it simply means you're being human, a human with a nervous system. And maybe you've just had too many tabs open internally for too long. Or maybe it's also just one tab that takes up most of your attention and makes it feel like everything is too much, but it's actually just that one thing. And if you solve that, everything else seems easy. But before you solve that, yeah, it feels like too many decisions, too much input, too many emotions, too much responsibility. And I think we underestimate how exhausting it is to constantly hold everything together at once while while still trying to function normally. And I'm saying function, not live at ease and in peace, but functioning. That's not relaxed life. Functioning, it works well. And don't get me wrong, I've functioned for most of my life. And it took me a long time to even realize that. It wasn't easy to get through that, and I still drop back into functioning at times in these kind of situations because it gives me a feeling of safety. And especially when I feel like I don't know where to start and everything is too much, okay, I'm just going to go into functionality, and at least then it'll feel like something is moving. But yeah, often people that put up this facade and who are strong, they don't even notice that they're overwhelmed until their body basically sends a resignation letter. Been there, done that more than once. Let's try to avoid that. So, what to do then when everything is too much? Well, one suggestion I can make is, it's unsolicited advice, but stop trying to solve your whole life in one day. This is the same with a diet. When people go, okay, I'm going to change my whole nutrition now. I'm going to throw out everything, change everything at once. You will most likely very quickly drop back into old habits, have a nice yo-yo effect. It'll be worse after than before. It won't be fun during. I'm not saying it doesn't work. For some people, it does work. But I feel like for the majority of people, it's not the path with the highest success rate and least friction. Let's put it that way. So sometimes you see when life gets chaotic for people, they might start to become a bit dramatic, also emotionally, not excluding myself here. Like everything feels like the end of the world. And my mind, for example, then just starts circling around certain decisions, and I can get pretty wound up around that. I'm not relaxed. I'll think no one else is going through this, but that's not true. Other people are going through it as well. Maybe not in the exact same way as you are. Everyone's different. But in the end, we're here in this human existence. You're a human right now, maybe always. Who knows? We have similar topics, be it money, relationships, love. We have similar, habits, okay, but we're still the same species, so I think there's a lot of overlap in our general, let's call them problems or areas with potential. Yeah, and when people get dramatic, then it might, depending on the person, again, I tend to go a bit more into the extreme they might be like, suddenly I'm going to redesign my entire life. New routines, new strategy, delete apps, maybe move countries. I don't know, become a minimalist, become a monk, whatever. I haven't become a monk. I think I live rather minimalistically, but that again then is well, first of all, it declutters my brain if I have too many things, and it's also kind of a commitment thing because I don't want to have more things than I can fit into one large van so that I could theoretically quickly move within a day. Yes, I have areas I can still work on with potential. I mean, I can stay minimalistic, of course, but the reasoning behind it, I see what I'm doing there, and I also know why I'm doing it. That's important. You might see yourself here, maybe you don't. Maybe all of this doesn't resonate. That's fine as well. Maybe you see it in someone else. I'm just opening things and take whatever fits for you. So yeah, redesigning everything, changing everything. Maybe in those situations you just need some sleep and electrolytes. And I think that's important. Maybe you just get a glass of water. But somehow, when we're overwhelmed, yeah, our brains want certainty. So we try to create control by, first of all, those routines, that functioning, but also maybe just making giant life decisions in the middle of emotional weather. Because you have control. You did something. And yeah, but I have to say, most of the time, clarity doesn't come from panic decisions. And again, I have, well, not panic decisions, but I have made decisions when I did not feel clear at all, hoping for, I'm just gonna make a decision now and then see what comes out of it. And then potentially doing a 180 because I saw, okay, it wasn't A, it was B out of the two options. But then I knew. I mean, something I did in the past was just circle around the decision for weeks, months, whatever, and then just letting the storm brew internally, which was a terrible idea. So instead of going into putting out all the fires in one day, slowing down can help. Slowing down enough to hear yourself again. Because that's, during this functioning, this panic, what we lose very quickly. So just trying to reduce life back to what actually matters today. Yes, there's a lot of things going on, but what matters today? Not this month, not this week, not your vision board or a 5-year future self ideal, not your destiny as a cosmic being, just today. What's truly necessary? And then, just by going through that, you can find some clarity, and sometimes getting through the day gently is already the win. I'm learning that during chaotic phases, your energy really matters more than your performance. Because people might think power always means holding everything together. But real power is actually staying connected to yourself while things are messy, and not abandoning yourself the second life becomes inconvenient. And some of the strongest people I know are people who stay connected to themselves even when it gets messy. People who can say, yeah, this is hard right now, without collapsing into hopelessness. Because the moment life becomes intense, we often leave ourselves emotionally. We stop feeling, we become harsh towards ourselves, disconnected from our body. We stop listening inward and go into the survival mode. If we're lucky, starting to try, to treat ourselves like a problem to fix. But we're not a problem to fix. We're already whole, and life happens in seasons. And to love yourself through those darker seasons that aren't that easy, it changes your energy. Like, your energy changes when you stay on your own side, kind of. even in the chaos, especially in the chaos. And I think there's something really powerful about being able to say the season is messy and I'm still here. And it doesn't have to be perfect or elegant, but you can be honest about it. Like for me, currently a lot is feeling overwhelming. I have some personal stuff going on. I'm moving, which is a decision I made by myself because I knew where I'm at right now. Well, I feel like a plant without water and sun, but I'm a plant that needs a lot of water and sun. So I'm not a succulent, but I do feel like I'm in a desert. So I made the decision to move, and that'll happen in only a few weeks' time. I, for example, have no clue where I'm going to move to, apart from knowing that there will be a lot of water in the place I move to. But yeah, that building my business with a podcast, doing energetic sessions or intuitively guided sessions with clients, figuring out I know what I'm here for, but also what I want for myself in life personally, and changing the environment again. Maybe, I don't know if it's going to be this move or the next one, moving countries as well again. But yeah, it can seem like a lot. And at the same time, when I zoom out, it doesn't seem like that much when I zoom out. When I'm in my drama and emotional drama, it feels like a lot and it's the end of the world. But right now, talking about it, zooming out, and just naming the main topics, it seems okay. And that's something you can do as well to break it down. Like I said earlier, to sometimes just get through the day, do small tasks. Because if you think, oh, there are so many large tasks, it doesn't matter. Roll the dice, pick one of the topics. Because if you start thinking, okay, which topic do I even start with? Then literally just go with one and do one small task out of those. And then oftentimes once you get started, it gets easier. But if you try to tackle the whole topic in one day, it'll be too much. You might most likely not even start, and also not feel that good. Because then you didn't start, it felt like too much. But it's okay. It's really okay. You can do it, and you don't have to do it alone. Like, you can get support from friends or family or whomever you feel like you can talk to, or maybe you like exchanging yourself with someone in a forum or whatever works for you. Maybe you don't want to talk at all. You go out into nature, you do some sports to just wind down. And yeah, regarding sports, because I've used that as a coping mechanism for many years, but then it wasn't really fun. I was running away. And I'm not saying don't go all out on a session, because that can also, if you're really into sports, that can be enjoyable. I fully get it. It is to me. I just want you to have this awareness of why you're doing it. And if you're aware that, yeah, this is just for you, or you're training towards something, totally fine. And also, maybe sometimes it's also okay to want to function. I'm not saying don't function at all. A bit of stability, even if it's through whatever your coping functioning mechanism is, it's okay. You're human. You're not a machine. Live. And if that's the thing you feel like doing at the moment, also just to not hear yourself, do it. Just don't do it for too long. Come back to yourself at some point, please. For yourself, you're worth it. And in these situations, I encourage you to, if that is your thing, to get some sort of exchange, because it can help to have this outside perspective, And also to just feel that someone is holding you. Doesn't have to be physically, but that you can trust someone. And maybe you think, well, I don't have anyone I can trust that way, or I don't want to burden anyone with my issues, stories, the stuff that's going on. But then think on, are you maybe the one that people come to, but you yourself, you can't open up? Or like I said, you don't want to be the burden. You're not the burden. Not at all. Maybe think on this. It might also benefit your relationship with others, and that they are allowed to hold you. And if you say, yeah, okay, but I don't know who to ask, then look for help outside. You can talk to me, you can talk to someone else, whoever resonates with you. Because that is essential. You need to feel like, yes, it feels like good immediately. If you think, oh, okay, that would make sense, or they have a good reputation. No. Or someone recommends them, but you're like, I'm not sure. Follow your gut instinct, whatever feeling is your compass, follow that. You don't have to walk the path alone, especially during chaos. Whether it just feels like chaos or whether it actually is chaos, but know that out of chaos comes, well, something new. I mean, out of darkness, chaos, we're born, kind of. Something like that. I can't get the picture back to, like, someone told me a metaphor about that once. What was it? And it's similar to the Big Bang Theory, if you believe in that. Order kind of comes into existence out of chaos. I think something like that. Yeah. Well, now it's getting too drifting off, philosophical. Anyways, if the shit is currently hitting the fan in your life, first of all, incredible visual. Second, breathe. You don't need to solve your entire future tonight. You don't need to become a different person. And you're probably doing way better than you think you are. Sometimes seasons are just intense. That's life. And sometimes the most healing thing you can do is just to stop fighting the fact that they are. And try to let go a bit. And don't get me wrong, this is for me the biggest challenge, to let go. But try. Step by step. Really tiny steps. Anyway, sending love from the middle of the shitstorm. So, if you have any questions or want to know more about certain topics, or feel called to working with me, let me know. My contact data is in the show notes. And if this episode resonated with you, follow, rate, leave a review, or share it with someone who might benefit from it. I hope this touched you in some way, sparked a thought, a visual, maybe two visuals, or ideally, a feeling. May you move through your day with curiosity, awareness, and a little more of your own truth shining through. See you in the next episode.